Good morning and welcome to Sunday Square Off. I'm Bram Resnick. I've learned over the years education is the #1 topic for our viewers, and today we'll touch on the top education issues in Arizona with the state school superintendent, Kathy Hoffman.
Student safety, why there's not enough money to go around. The teacher shortage, do teacher raises keep more of them in our classrooms? School choice, why Kathy Hoffman's under fire for her handling of school vouchers. And K-12 funding, is that where the soaring state surplus should go?
All that, plus the questions our viewers sent in. And joining us now, Arizona School Superintendent Kathy Hoffman. Welcome back to Square Off.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with news of the week. Republican legislators voted to spend up to $175,000 to audit your handling of empowerment scholarship accounts. This is one area your department touches directly. Those are the vouchers that allow students to attend private schools using taxpayer dollars. You manage the applications, you disperse the money to families. Why have there been delays in processing applications and in turn dispersing the money?
So this program, the ESA program, has been historically underfunded by our state legislature. We need to be very clear that what was put into law was a recommended 4% for administrative expenses, and yet they have only funded the program at around 1.6%. So there is literally hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in a bank account that could be appropriated to our department to properly staff the program. And the program has grown exponentially. By next year, we project to have over 8,000 students enrolled and participating in the ESA program. We'll be and so we need to make sure we have the staffing that's appropriate for serving these students and their families.
So, and I think you said this was a problem under previous Superintendent Diane Douglas. Why weren't we hearing these complaints under Diane Douglas?
Well, we actually were, if you look back to her comments, and she wrote an op-ed about this as well.
But from parents, I mean.
About the delays?
About the delays, yes. I just don't, maybe I missed it, but I just don't recall hearing those complaints.
I think they have been escalated, especially by outside special interest groups. These parent voices have been escalated and elevated, but I also have an issue with the delays. Let's be clear. I do see our role as serving our families that are enrolled, and with the growth of the program, as I said, up to now we're almost at 8,000 students enrolled. And it's essentially like serving a mid-sized school district with only 13 people to process applications, do the audits of the program, and answer calls, answer emails. We would like to be fully funded at the levels recommended by the legislature of the 4% to make sure that we can fully serve the program, the families that we serve through this program.
This was the #1 question I got from viewers when I called for questions. And what I get is, the tone is they don't trust you to handle this program effectively. They say there's a lack of communication, a lack of timeliness, and also question your commitment to ESAs. Let's talk with the first pieces, timeliness, communication. Have you done as good a job as you can communicating with these parents given the staffing difficulties you describe?
Well, we definitely have room for improvement, and we are working to make those adjustments. One way that we're hoping to streamline the processes and free up the time of our program specialists to dedicate more time to the families is we are transitioning to Class Wallet, which is a vendor who is a third-party vendor that we're transitioning to, that will be processing all of the spending for the ESA program. So by transitioning to this new system, instead of our program specialists having to go through receipts and every little paper application, a lot of it's going to be automated internally through this system.
And in particular, special needs parents say, and they have some big outlays for their children, they say they have to wait to get reimbursed from pretty big expenditures. Are they right?
Well, through the ESA program, it varies from, and I do understand, especially it's going to vary because for tuition, it's a very clear, acceptable expenditure. So if a student is going to a private school, we know that is an allowable expense through state statute. However, if the parent is requesting something that has never been asked for before, something they saw on Amazon that is advertised, like, hey, this is a program or book or a game that is designed for a child with autism, and a family comes across this, and then they forwarded on for approval, that takes some time for our team to research and see, is this allowable under statute? And we do need to be responsible for our taxpayer dollars, because in the past we know that the Auditor General found over $700,000 of misspent ESA funds.
Okay, so now you face an audit.
Correct.
Will that audit show you guys have handled this program flawlessly?
So we've been audited for the past 3 years by the Auditor General, and so this is adding on to that audit.
Okay, this is your first audit.
No, we're still being audited. This is the prior
on ESAs?
Yes, on ESAs. It is a 36-month audit, and so we've met with the Auditor General because they're still doing follow-ups on the initial audit. That's been ongoing since I took office, and so this is a added-on audit. And with that $175,000, I say that's at least 3 full-time staff members that could be helping with processing applications, returning phone calls, returning emails. And so to me, it's not money well spent, because we've been very transparent. We've been providing documents to the legislators on how we're managing the program. In fact, earlier this week, we held an ESA info session for legislators.
Okay. There was another blow up over Navajo students going off the reservation to a private school outside Arizona in New Mexico and spending ESA dollars there. That seems to be settled, but one of the outcomes was the governor says he wants to expand the ESA program. It appears to account for students in the Navajo Nation. Still a little fuzzy. Would you support that?
I do not support expanding ESAs to be spent in out-of-state private schools. And I've also been looking to our state legislators who represent the Navajo Nation, and they have also expressed that they would not support this.
Do those students have options, public school options, in the Navajo Nation or within Arizona?
They have public school options, and one of my questions is, in terms of the private school options that are in the same area, is how do we as a state know that they are providing a high quality education? Because private schools are not held accountable to the state. They don't take state testing, so we really have no way to compare which school is better. And I've traveled to Navajo Nation and I visited the public schools there. For example, the Chinle school district up there has been making outstanding. They've just made such great growth over the past couple years, and one way that they've been able to accomplish that is by implementing universal early education programs. They have preschool for all of their kids, so I'd love to see that expanded.